Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sheared podcast. I'm your host, Austin Creed. I want to welcome you to the show. It's interesting. I'm posting a little later than I normally do, and I'll tell you the stories. Maybe, and you know what? I might do it next week. Depending on how this weekend goes, I might tell you a little bit about what's going on in my personal life. But today we're not really here to talk about me. We're here to talk about you. And what I hear the most from people both that I know, people that I meet, what I see on social media and everything in between, you don't want to know why I talk about relationships on this show a lot. And before you want to say no, not because I'm lonely, okay? I wrote the book about being a bachelor, okay? I chose this lifestyle, okay? Trust me. But you know what's interesting? I bring it up a lot, relationships, because I firmly believe it to be the most important decision that any man especially will ever make. Women know this too, because relationships are to women what making money is to most men in our professional careers. And why do I say that? Because, actually, no, I won't spoil it, but I'll give you a little bit of a hint, because we'll discuss it on the show today. Women have this unique power that men don't have. Maybe if you're homosexual, you can get away with it as a man. But most women have this special superpower. They're able to, for example, they find a rich man, billionaire, millionaire man, right? They can live that lifestyle. They can go on his boat, sit shotgun in his car. They can hang out and be in these really nice restaurants, nice clubs, be on the boats and the cars and the club, all this stuff, without having to be that guy, without having to sacrifice, without having to risk, without having to do any of that. They can just show up. And if they're pretty enough, or if the guy's desperate enough, he'll let him in. You as a man, you can't do that. Unless the guy's a little colorful, you won't be able to do that. And so that's why, gentlemen, I want to ask you a question. Are you ready for a relationship? Sounds like a really simple question, right? It's either yes or no. Well, let me ask you another question. What do you care about more, women or wealth? Because let me ask you. Actually, no, I've not asked enough questions for now, at least. Because you know what, we're gonna really discuss this topic. I firmly believe that if you don't have at least 10K in cash in your bank right now, you should not be dating. You shouldn't even be hooking up with chicks. Because you broke as hell. You broke. I don't even know how to get your schmendrick up. If you ain't got 10K in assets, you broke, bro. Get out. You broke. And I'm not saying that to put you down. I'm describing your financial situation. Now, that could be rectified. That could be relatively easy fixed if you're willing to put in the work. But let's just put the 10K aside. I don't think that if you have $100,000 in assets, or better yet, in cash right now, do not even think about getting married to no girl. Don't even think about it, because that's the bare minimum. Now, you know what? I realize people are going to say, Austin, that's ridiculous, bro. What are you talking about? This is not what I tuned in for. I didn't tune in here to be insulted. I didn't tune in here to have you shame me about my money. Because let's be honest, most people tune out. As soon as money is mentioned, immediately they're not interested, which I find ironic, actually. But while you're wanting to answer the questions I've posed of, are you ready for a relationship? What do you care more about, wealth or women? We're going to look at some clips that I found for the show today. And actually, I have not watched these at all. So, I'm very curious to see what they have to say. Because you know what? It's easy for us as men to say what we want in women. But you know what? That's pretty straightforward and easy for most people. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to look at what do women say they want in men. Now, you need to realize that most of the time, women know that most men can't handle the truth. So what they do is they kind of dance around what they're actually trying to say. I'm not sure this woman will do it or not, but most do. So let's see what this woman has to say about qualities to look for in men. Now, this isn't just rich men, but that's who she's talking to, of course, because if you're new to, okay, before we tell this, if you're new to this show, you need to understand something. Number one, when women say men, they're not talking to you. Most likely, unless you're in the top 10 to 15% of men, she's not talking to you. Because you're broke, dusty, uninteresting, unattractive. She's not talking to you. So let's get that out the way immediately. If you are in the 15%, you then have to say, oh, well, are you 6 feet tall? How much money you make? All this, that, and the other thing. It's like applying for a job, okay? Job says, we're looking for somebody who's gonna fit in well with our team. Someone who's gonna really bring something unique to this family that we have. And I want someone who's going to be who's team orientated, who's a good person, and this, that, and the other thing. And then in the description, they have to say, must have college degree, must have certain years of experience, must have this, and the other thing, right? That's the same thing with women. Women are no different. So while we explore that, we're going to hop right into this video and see if this woman is what she's going to say, because I honestly have no idea.
Qualities to look for in men. And the only reason why I think I can speak on this, because I've been through my fair share of dating, going on dates and things with men, so I think I have compiled some that we have to look for. One is...
Okay, I gotta pause. A, for fair use purposes, and B, because that's just the way I am. If you don't like it, find someone else's show. First of all, as soon as a woman says that she has a lot of dating experience, means she been in these streets. Yeah, that basically means that, she for the streets, bruh. She kind of a hoe. I'm sorry.
This is getting weird.
So, just to let you know, that's what she actually said there, but let's keep going.
Is motivation. I'm sorry, babe,
motivation.
But you, Jennifer, are not gonna find your Ken at the bar.
Motivation is code for money.
If the motivation that he has is just to be able to go out every weekend or every day of the week, and that's his motivation for working, it's not gonna work.
She knows from personal experience, because I guarantee you, she found the Chad who always liked to have fun but was broke.
You know, that's not a quality that we need to look for, and that is not something that's going to be substantial in a relationship. 2 is fitness and health. If he's just ordering food and he doesn't even know how to cook, you really think that's a quality? What happens when you have a kid? You have a little Joey running around, and Joey's hungry, and your Ken is just out there buying McDonald's and deep fried food for little Joey.
What?
Little Joey's not going to be healthy. That is not a quality that we need in a man that we want to marry, okay? That is not a quality that we need to waste our time on. We need a healthy, fit man.
Okay, pausing you right there. First of all.
Oh, hell no!
Gentlemen, I want to add a little bit of an interesting twist to this. You know, I'm sure if you find my content interesting, you've listened to other people on this side of the internet. And when most people hear the term fit and whatnot, they think, oh, the guy's gotta be really attractive and whatnot. And to an extent, that is true. Here's what I would also like to add. What she's not telling you is not necessarily the attractive part. What she's saying is she wants you to be able to live long so you can pay for all of her stuff. That's what she's saying. Motivation is code for money. Health is code for how long is he going to be able to work for me? How long is he going to be able to produce for me so I can sit back and kind of just live the soft girl era life?
Number 3 is confidence. We do not want someone that is not confident enough for you to just go out and have your fun and have your girls' weekends and have your girls' dinner dates, whatever it is, and going out on the town, that isn't comfortable with you going out and other people giving you attention.
And on top of it, he needs to be okay with me being a skeezer. Oh, that's great. Oh, that's really wonderful. Oh, in other words, you got to put a lot of work into yourself. You have to make money. You have to be in the gym. Oh, and you have to be okay when Chad, Tyrone, Pookie, and Ray Ray are grinding on your girl at the club. Oh, that's great. Oh, no wonder you're single. I can't imagine why.
Or you just getting randomly messaged from a cute picture that you posted online from other guys. Like, if he cannot handle that, and he doesn't have the confidence to handle that,
confidence.
This is gonna be a downhill, spirally, slippery slope.
Oh my goodness God.
Oh my God!
You know, I want to ask the ladies who listen to the show. Ladies, if you're watching, I need to ask a question. If we're gonna frame you getting free attention from other dudes as a confidence issue for us as men, we need to have a conversation. So if it's okay for you to go and dress like a skeezer and go to the club under the guise of I am insecure if I don't let you go out there and be an absolute skeezer, then is it not a confidence issue for you if I go out there and I flash my money or my success or whatever? Because let's not pretend like that's not the reason you're there in the first place. So if we're gonna play this reframing and shifting game, I say what's good for the goose is good for the gander. If I'm that guy and I have all the women wanting me, which is why you chose me in the first place, because let's face it, if I was just the other average Joe, I'd be the guy hitting you up on Instagram, not the guy that's, throttling you in the bedroom. So if we're gonna play that game, does that not mean that if other women want me and I choose to get their attention and validation and explore my options, that then makes you insecure if you say anything about it? I don't know. What do you think? I think that makes perfect sense to me. I think that's perfectly logical. How much more we got here?
Or consistency. If Ken tells us that he's going to take us on a date this weekend or on Friday, Ken is better show up and be taking us, and already booked the date for Friday. And on Friday, he already has a plan for when he's going to pick you up, where the date is, what you should wear. He needs to stay up to date on that. If he tells you he's going to call you tomorrow because he's busy today, he needs to call you tomorrow. That consistency needs to be there, or else Ken is just saying random shit and we're not following through. We do not need that, okay?
First of all, anytime a woman swears, it's extremely unattractive, okay? I gotta put that one out there. Secondly, okay. Ladies, can I give y'all some free game as a guy who knows very wealthy men? Can I give you some free advice? This is friendly advice from Austin Creed. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, you want a rich man? Trust me, I know some very rich men. I will not put their names on the internet because I don't want to expose them. Let me tell you something. You want to be with a rich man? Do not look like a 304. Do not talk like a strag. Do not go out here and sound like every other woman. You want the top percent man. Those men want peace, they want order, and they want you to give that to them. And you can't do that. Why? Because you come to the table saying that I need to do this, I need to do that. Ma'am, you are only saying this to men who are not actually, don't qualify for you. Because if they did, you would not have these rules. There are rules for Chad. There are no rules for Chad and all the rules for Brad. That is the way the world works, okay? So if a woman ever talks to you like this, you ain't the one, bro. You are not the one. This is girl babble for you are broke and you need to step up your game. Period in a story. And speaking of broke, gentlemen, let me ask you a question. Let's go back. Would you rather have a woman talk to you like this woman, and even though she's got filters and makeup and whatnot, she probably doesn't look all that bad, but without all that, she's gonna look all really pale in the face and not very attractive with all the makeup and the filters. So would you rather have a woman like this, or would you rather be living this life?
This part of my life is called peace.
Would you rather drive by honest question? I mean, what would you rather have? Let's go back. Would you rather have this, or this. Pick your pick. The life of a millionaire or a woman like this. Pick your pick. Pick your pick. Because gentlemen, let me tell you something. Women like this plain Jane woman with makeup and filters and probably some lip injections, probably. If you have this life, the life of a millionaire with the Lambo and the house and the money and the status and all that, women like this, you will be able to have every day of the week. You could not shoo them away. The way that people shoo dust bunnies out of their house with a broom, you'd be having to try to get them out of your life because you couldn't keep them away. They would want to sign up for that life right now. See, but that's the thing. Rich men don't have to chase women. They do in the movies because the movies are not based upon reality. In reality, those kind of women fiend for those type of men. They can have them, but only for the night. They don't want it for life. They want it for that night. But women can't keep it. They can get in bed with the guy who owns all this stuff, but they can't get in a relationship with him or marry him. Nope, they can't do it. So instead, they're out here comparing you to that guy. So have fun with that. And there are a couple women who actually do supposedly get into relationships with these men, which is largely sugar baby relationships, but they pretend like they're their girlfriends. But let's hear what they had to say. So this is a woman's advice on how to get a rich man. I know how to get rich men because I know rich men. And I know how some of them are married. And I know how their wives got them. But let's hear about this. What does this woman have to say?
All right, it's time. I'm finally giving the girls what they want, and buckle up, because this is really, really good advice. Now, I've been all over TikTok. I mean, since TikTok has started, I've seen plenty of sugar daddy tips, videos, how to find a rich man.
How did I know she's a sugar baby?
How to find a guy to spend, all this shit. I'm here to give you probably the best advice that you'll ever see on this app right now.
I knew she was a sugar baby. I called it.
So, putting on your listening ears and get out a piece of paper, a pen, take some fucking notes, okay? First, wherever you live, whatever city, whatever state, there's gonna be a predominantly wealthier area within that city. I want you to find a high-rise, luxury condos, whatever it is, somewhere really, really expensive, but make sure that they have a restaurant.
Oh, but we as men are the predators, right? We're the predatory subspecies, right? Not this, though. Apparently, this is not predatory. What? This is some apex predator level crap.
And in that restaurant, I want you to go and sit at the bar by yourself. By yourself. I mean, it's great to go with a friend, of course, it helps. But for some reason, society thinks, and especially men, that it's really weird when a woman is at the bar by herself.
Just so you know, historically speaking, women who did that were prostitutes who were working. That's what working girls do. Just so you know, those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, you haven't been to nice hotels. Women who do this, and I've seen them. No, I did not buy anything from them, you perverts. But I know what she's talking about. These are the mahi-mahi girls, the working girls, and they have telltale signs, which I will not go into detail about for you horny dudes. Because next thing you know, you're going to be feeding into this madness, okay? Again, this is the problem, though. They want to take the sugar baby approach. If you want to do that, go right ahead. But you are never going to marry a man doing this. Never.
Now, when you walk in, they'll all be staring at you. And all, I mean, the bored, lonely, old, rich men that live in the building and
Oh my
they have
God.
nothing to do, so they went down to the bar
Oh my
for the
God!
first time this week, and the bartender knows them by name, and yeah. So they'll probably strike up a conversation, one of them, maybe sit next to one of them. Excuse me, is the seat available?
Oh,
They'll say no.
this is disgusting. I'm literally, I feel like I need to take a shower. Oh my God. I feel like I need to take a shower after listening to this. This is predatory. This is predatory behavior. They are targeting rich men to finesse them out of their money. Oh, but only men are predators, right? They should have a show. Hey, Hollywood executives, if you're watching this show, you want to have the next To Catch a Predator series? This is it right here. Have a bunch of younger women aged 18 to 25 trying to pick up all like 50s and 60-year-old older Middle Eastern Caucasian men at the hotel bar. This is your next To Catch a Predator series right here. Unbelievable.
And you sit down, and I'm sure one of them will bring up the conversation of, are you here by yourself or are you waiting for somebody? And that's where, you tell them that you're here by yourself, you just needed a break, from your life and your boyfriend.
Do you think that these older rich men are stupid? They know who you are. Do you think they got where they are by being gullible? Now, some of them might be thinking with the head south of the equator and not the head north of the equator. This much is true. But they are not stupid. They know who you are. Do you really think you're the only woman trying this? No, you're not. And again, the best you're gonna get from this is a couple of Benjamins and a pat on the head.
Always mention you have a boyfriend. Even if you don't have a boyfriend, for some reason, emotionally unavailable women are just much more attractive than single women. And that's where he'll get to tell you, oh my God, he's so lucky to have you, and you're so beautiful and all this stuff, and how come your boyfriend's not here? And that's where you test it. Where you say something along the lines like, me and my boyfriend got into a fight, and I'm just kind of out here looking for his replacement, maybe a new boyfriend or a sugar daddy. And when you drop that sentence, that's where the magic happens.
You know what? I have to really thank TikTok. I gotta thank YouTube. I have to thank Twitter. I have to thank these outlets for telling men the game. Young guys, 18 to 25 to 30. You want to know why you can't get a date? Because your women are getting sugar daddies because you're broke. The reason why you can't get a date is because you're broke. And this woman and women who think like this, which is a lot of women, they won't date you because they can have free Johnson whenever they want. Pause. And instead of doing that, they're finding sugar daddy to fixes that bind. Shout out to CGA. They'll be out here trying to fixes that bind. They are broke too. So why would they get some free Johnson when they can get some Johnson with a side of Benjamins? So I really have to be out here, and I have to thank social media for letting us men know that we've been lied to, we've been deceived, we've been duped, we have been let down by the big lies we have been told. So let me tell you something right now. If you want a relationship and you are broke, stop. I recommend immediately that you stop. Again, you don't have to. If you want to be broke, go be broke. You want to be struggling in both financial and romantic endeavors, be my guest. But don't say that I didn't try to warn you. Don't say that I didn't try to put you on game. If you want a manual on which to base this new life, The Biblical Bachelor. I wrote this not to get rich, but to tell other men that there are other ways. There are other ways for you to be the gentleman, to be the gentleman archetype, the so-called nice guy without being a pushover and a simp. Or to be whoever you want in this new idea of developing a personal philosophy. If you want to have a sugar baby like this, go right ahead. You are welcome to do that. If you want to go out there and date struggle bitches like this, you're welcome to do that. But let me tell you something. If you want to raise a family, it's not cheap. Let's go to the Department of Justice and look at how much money you should be earning if you want to have a family. Let's see. Oh, look at that. They broke it down by state. Oh boy. We have let's see. That's pretty good. It's about $100,000 pretty much everywhere, except for New Mexico. Oh man, that's not a surprise. The land of enchantment. Yeah, right. And Arkansas, big surprise on that one. So if you live in Arkansas or New Mexico, then you're in good shape. Idaho ain't doing too bad. What's this one? Mississippi. Okay. Hey man, if you want to make $66,000 a year and be struggling out there in Mississippi, go right ahead. But if you want to live in New Jersey, you want to live in California, you want to live in Florida, you want to live somewhere that's, you're not broke. Sorry, man. You got to make some money out here. 100K. Massachusetts, 130K. Wow, look at that. Gentlemen, look, I understand the desire, the patriarchal desire that most men have. Trust me, I'm not immune to it. I understand it. But I want you to realize that these things are not free. In fact, they cost you everything. One of my all-time favorite characters ever written is Thanos. And at the end of Infinity War, after he's done the snap, after he goes into the Soul Stone, he sees Gamora again and she's like, "Did you do it?" And he says, "Yes." And she says, "What did it cost you?" He pauses for a second and he says, "Everything." Gentlemen, your life is no different. You want a relationship? It's going to cost you everything. You want a family? It's going to cost you everything plus tax. And right now, when you're broke, you don't have a whole lot, you're building yourself, might not seem like you have a whole lot to lose. Get back to me in 20 years. Get back to me in 30 years. You won't be saying that then. And if marriage works the way it's intended, then it's fantastic for the most part. But statistically speaking, the odds of that happening are decreasing by the day. And it just doesn't work anymore. Not in this society. Not in this country. No. I was talking to a guy who's from Afghanistan. The other day I mentioned that I had some car trouble, and the guy that drove my Lyft was actually a guy from Afghanistan, and he told me about his family. He told me how things were in Afghanistan, how traditional, communal, and everything life is in Afghanistan. And it was as if I was talking to a man who lived on a different planet. Obviously, he lives in the United States now, but he told me how foreign the concept of individualism is in Afghanistan. How in Afghanistan, divorce does not really exist. And I didn't tell him who I was. I didn't tell him that I have a podcast. I didn't tell him that I talk about this every day of the week. He just told me about this stuff. And it got me thinking, and I said to myself, why do we chase this traditional concept of The American dream. When the American dream was manufactured by the robber barons, when it was put forward to us as a dream, a fantasy, but yet all of us want this fantasy. We think we deserve this fantasy. Why is that? And it all stems from that first relationship between the mother and the father. The problem is, in this current dating marketplace, there's so many problems, so many potholes, no pun intended, and it's not feasible anymore. If you want to chase it, go right ahead, but you can't be broke. So whether you want to chase that dream or you want to carve out your own and develop your own personal philosophy, you have to make money, you have to have direction and purpose, and you must ask yourself if you are ready for a relationship and if you are within the proper price range. My friends, I encourage you, no matter what you think of what you heard today, stay informed, stay vigilant, question everything you heard, whether it's from me or from anybody else. But my friends, please remember that nothing is free, and freedom and marriage are the most expensive things. Love is the most expensive luxury item you will ever pay for. I'm out. Peace.